Hi, everyone. We're back with another week of exciting rehearsals. This week, we're talking all about baton twirling national championships and plenty of other twirling news. We'll also find out what made Trish say,
Their style's never really been my thing, but I will tell you this. I'm starting to come around on them.
and why Ashlee said,
Okay, that is literally nothing in comparison to twirler costumes. Nothing. If they only knew.
all this and more. So get out on the field, and we'll see you back on the sidelines for this week's episode of On a Water Break.
8 off the mat and go.
Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
Welcome to another episode of Season 2 On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. I'm Nicole Younger. We're here in this exciting rehearsal. This week, I'm just got back from my small stint with the Academy. I feel like I haven't done this in a really long time, so if I look uncomfortable, it's because I am uncomfortable. But thank you. But also, I'm ready to jump back into this and jump into the world of twirling. I have a bunch of questions. Before we get into that, though, let's see who's on the sidelines this week. Ashlee?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
It's also been a long time since I've been on. It's been I don't know, probably a month, maybe more.
Right.
So I'm really excited to be back on too.
Oh, Team Nat got back together. Well, not all of us, but yes. It's good to see your face again, though. That's really good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then Trish, hello.
Hello.
You have been the woman about on a water break.
You think?
I think so. How have you been?
Good.
Seeing a lot of drum corps shows, I'm sure.
Just a lot of all age in open class. I haven't seen a lot of world class in person yet, but I've been keeping up on Flow. Stayed up late and watched Flow last night. Boy, that was exciting. That was a big night on Flow.
Well, this is going to be kind of different from what we've had before, Ashlee. So since the show is about everything twirling and all things twirling, we have some very special guests with us. First, I would like to introduce Kim Jones. And then we have Marissa Pierce. You guys can always do a little wave or something too, because we put this on YouTube. Since a majority of this is Ashlee's expertise too, I'm just going to let you know, we're going to give it to her in a moment. However, we want to learn more about both of you. So I'll just go with Marissa first. We do this thing called the 32 count life story. I know we've already talked about this. I hope you're ready to go. We'll make faces when you get down to the time. But when we're ready, 32 counts, 8 off the mat, and then you're in. You ready?
You got it. Hopefully I get the mat right.
We'll point to you. How about that?
I like that. I like it.
All right, sounds good. All right, here we go. Now go.
I grew up twirling. I've been twirling for 19 years competitively. I've traveled to 6 international competitions, 4 World Championships, 2 International Cups, and a Grand Prix, winning 5 gold medals, 2 silver, and 1 bronze representing the United States. I twirled at Michigan State University for the past 4 years, and I'm a recent graduate. I'm also the 2023 USTA Collegiate National Champion, and I twirled with Wheaton Dance Twirl teams for the past 7 years. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. Hopefully that was 32 counts, but I love twirling. And I'm so excited to be here.
Yay, that was pretty good.
That was pretty on beat. That was like all the counts.
She's like, here I go. And that was awesome. All right. And next we also have Kim Jones. Hey Kim, how are you?
Hey. Good. How are you?
Good. So we did catch you up on the 32 count life story. Mm-hmm. All right.
You did. Yes.
You think you're ready?
I guess. Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Just jump in. All right, here we go.
All right, 32 counts. I was born. I started twirling at the age of 7. I dibble-dabbled into team twirling as well as solo twirling. I then switched over to color guard. I marched drum corps. I started having lots of babies who then also started twirling and doing drum corps. And I'm back in the twirling world now with my youngest child who is twirling. So I'm hoping I can bring a little bit of like ex-twirler, now parent to the twirling world of what's happening. And yeah, let's do it.
She got right on it. It's good. I always get so nervous for everyone when they're doing it because I'm just like, I want to listen, but I'm also counting. So it's just like,
That's hard. It's hard to put your life in 32
Right.
seconds, right?
Flag feature, 32 counts. Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so like I said before, I wanted to make sure that we, Ashlee is heading this because, like I said, I have questions and I already have my list. So I will go ahead and bounce it on over to Ashlee for this.
Yeah, so there's been a lot happening the past few weeks and still to happen in the next few weeks in the twirling world. So for those who don't know, July is pretty much the month of the national championships for multiple organizations within the baton twirling community. So like color guard, it's not just WGI. Like there's several circuits, like there's local ones, there's like a couple main ones that a lot of people participate in. The ones that we're going to be talking about are Twirling Unlimited, which is based in Ohio, and then USTA, which is United States Twirling Association, and then NBTA, which is National Baton Twirling Association. So they all have different rules and guidelines for each other, but basically, from a layperson's point of view, USTA allows gymnastics, NBTA doesn't. USTA has a lot of like fundamental elements that they incorporate into their competing aspects, and they're called compulsories. So like you have to pass different levels of compulsories in order to move on to the next level of competition. So I think that's like a real key thing in what makes them unique in their organization.
Okay. And you've got some results, actually.
I do. Last week was USTA Nationals, and this past weekend was Twirling Unlimited Internationals.
So
like everything is happening all at once.
Marissa, was that where you were?
Yes, I was at USTA Nationals, but my mom's baton group, Spirit Baton, was actually at Twirling Unlimited Internationals in Canton. But I've competed there the last, I don't know how many years of my life, my whole life, I guess. So I'm very up to date with what happened there, as well as at USTA, just because it was important to my mom's kids, and I was making sure they were on task. You got to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So yes, I was at USTA though.
And Kim, where were you?
I was at TU. I was out in Canton.
Ooh, okay. So then, like, you all can give us like results that came out of all those competitions.
Yeah.
Oh, let's get into that. All right, so let's get into the results of all of those competitions that happened. I guess whoever would like to go first. Actually, Kim, let's go with you. Let's see how Twirling Unlimited did.
So Twirling Unlimited was a 3-day whirlwind of a lot of solo competition, as well as I think there was close to about 200 team events that happened on Sunday.
300.
And so Yeah,
300.
it was crazy. It's crazy. So we'll get into like the craziness of what a twirling competition entails. Probably a little later in the conversation. So my youngest daughter, I was there as a parent with my youngest daughter competing. She did some group stuff as well as solos and duet events. And so her and her duet partner did walk away with an international title. So that's they're beginners. So yes, they did very well. Her team also was senior champions for their twirl team. So yeah, it was a successful weekend. She enjoyed herself. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed watching all the different things. It is crazy though. If you've never experienced a twirling competition, you have to at least go to one once in your life. It is something that you will sit there and wonder how anyone gets to where they need to be in the right time. It is crazy. And Ashlee and Marissa probably both can, talk through that. But it definitely is something that you will never see in any other like sporting event or competition.
Yeah.
The way that they divide the lanes, you've got to figure out, who's going when. It is quite the circus.
Yeah. So like especially at nationals, there's always like different rooms at the venue that's hosting different competitions or different events of the competition. So at TU, there were 3 rooms that were holding events going on. The main convention center had 15 individual lanes going at one point. So 15 judges, the tables are placed in the middle of the floor. And this is the same with every other nationals. NBTA, there's like I don't know, like 6 different rooms with things going on. The lanes are placed in the middle of the room, and the judges sit in the middle of the room. The twirlers are on both sides of the floor, and there's another room where things are happening as well. So like there's just so many things going on. And especially at TU, like there's a lineup posted of what events are happening on which lane and like maybe a rough timeline of what time that they're going to happen, but not everything is always going to work out perfectly as a contest director might think it would work. But
can I just interrupt for just a second? Because you said, I'm picking up on some things, but 15 judges, and you have someone twirling for each judge. So there's only one judge that's like giving a number for each person when they're going, right?
Typically for individual events, there's usually one judge, unless it's like a championship or like a grand national event or a pageant event, then there might be 2. So
when they play music, how does that work? I mean, if you've got 15 people spinning, like, twirling. So the individuals, there isn't, so there's different events that happen. So well, we don't have to go deeper into this. We're just going to get, but know that that's one of my questions.
Let's just say by the end of the day, like John Philip Sousa March is ingrained in your brain. It just goes and goes and goes forever.
Stars and Stripes forever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
Okay. We'll come back to this then. I'm sorry. Go ahead with your results.
Yeah. So we'll just do like a quick rundown of what the main individual results were at TU. So there was the Miss TU Majorettes, which is the pageant that they have there, which involves the individual music event, which is where you perform to your own choice of music on the full floor. You can use one baton or multiple with other novelty and props if you'd like. And then there's also the solo portion, which is just one baton in one lane. And then there's modeling and interview as well. So those pageant winners were Emery, I'm going to butcher this last name, Musinski, in the tiny tot division. So that means ages 0 to 8. And then Juliana Fiello in the juvenile division, ages 9 to 11. Riley Reed in the junior division, ages 12 to 14. Alana Burkholder in teenage, ages 15 to 17. And then April Gable won the senior division for 18 and over. And then they also have an international solo championship as well. So that's the solo portion of that pageant, but just the solo. So they're just being named like the international solo champion of Twirling Unlimited. Some of them are the same people, some of them aren't. The juvenile, junior, and senior are all the same winners as the pageant winners. So Juliana, Riley, and April all won their international solo divisions. But Kinsley Duncan won the tiny tot division, and then Maisie Zapata won the teenage. So that's pretty cool that some of them won both things. That's not always the case.
And that's an all-day thing that they're there for. Those
literally all day.
Cute little.
Yes, like 12. Well, it wasn't quite 12 hours, maybe 10.
Only 10.
NBTA is definitely 12 plus hours.
So speaking of USTA, Marissa, you have some things on that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a good time at USTA Nationals. Obviously, I was the reigning collegiate champion, so I actually got there on the first day of competition. Well, I guess the second. I was there after pre-trials, which is their rhythmic and freestyles on Tuesday, so I didn't get to really see those, but I did see the collegiate championships, the IBTF qualifiers, and all the national events, all the grand national finals and collegiate finals. Super fun. I got to do a performance and give away the cup, the Miller Cup that I had won. So it was a great time. It was very interesting to see the progress that athletes have really made in a year. I think it's really phenomenal to see people that, if they were 16 last year, how much growth there can really be when you turn 17. And it was fun to watch, but it was definitely first year not competing and a very different feeling for me, but it was enjoyable. And I know that if I did the IBTF qualifier, I would have been crying. IBTF got rid of for the World Championships, not for Nations Cup, but for the World Championships, they got rid of the adult division. So if you were an adult, like I would have been considered an adult according to my age if I were competing. You wipe away the adults and you get put with the seniors. So you're put with the senior age kids, and they are only selecting 2 from USTA and 2 from MBTA for the IBTF World Championships. And those divisions were lengthy and full of really, really, really good twirlers in the senior age division. So that was kind of interesting to see. And obviously the women and men who qualified are phenomenal twirlers. I mean, we wouldn't expect any less than that, and will definitely represent the United States well. And then the Grand National Champions, and the collegiate champion, but I can get to the collegiate champion last. Jada, she won strut. Julia won 2 baton and 3 baton. Bauer won solo. Carissa won dance twirl, and who am I forgetting? Solo was Michaela Schuler. And all 5 of them are fantastic athletes and great representatives of each individual event that they do. And they're just really good people, which makes it really great to celebrate. And then Courtney Detweiler won the collegiate championship, which I'm very excited for her. She obviously went to the University of Missouri, but is a Pennsylvania native with me. So I told her the Miller Cup was coming back home. So it was good to see the Miller Cup come back to Pennsylvania. And so it was a great time. I had so much fun. Last performance ever. I'm officially retired now, but that's like a little rundown of USTA Nationals. It was really, like I said, great to see athletes progress throughout the year. And I haven't gotten to see a lot of my friends since last Nationals. So it was fun.
I just want to ask, I'm pretty sure like going into competition and you get there and you're like, okay, got to, my hair, my makeup, because I've seen the hair and makeup and it is a 10. Okay. Along with the thank you and all the rhinestones. And how was it different? Like, I'm pretty sure it was it was just a different feeling for you being there this year.
I don't know how to describe it without making it sound really weird. I think last year I retired on a high. I won a national championship. I went to MBTA nationals. I made the coveted top 6 in Grand National out of 97 athletes in the senior age division with some really great twirlers. Made in a couple world finals. Thank you. And then I went to the world championships, and I won a gold medal with Wheaton dance world teams and twirl team, and then also made finals in both solo and 3 baton, which is a feat in itself. And I've gone to a couple world championships where I haven't made finals. So the fact that I made finals against some really great athletes internationally is something that I'm really proud of. And when I finished last summer, why would you keep going if you finished all your goals? Especially at 21, your body starts to hurt. So going into it this year, it was, that's right. Going into it this year, it was weird, I can say. And I was not sad that I wasn't out there. When I had the honor of putting athletes on for the collegiate prelims and finals. And in the bullpen before they walk out, you're nervous, you're scared. The anticipation is there. You're thinking about it and leading up to it. I don't miss any of that. I really don't. There's no part of me that would want to take part in that anymore. But I miss the aspect of going out there and having the opportunity to showcase my school or just showcase myself and the individual events. And I think that's what I missed. I didn't miss anything else. I did not miss the prep. I did not miss if you had a bad routine, what happens. I didn't miss any of that. And I'm sure Ashlee might be able to say the same. And it's a very weird feeling. And I'm very satisfied and very okay with the fact that I retired and I want to be done and I want to move on to the other side of things and sit on the other side of the table. But yeah, it was definitely weird. And it was weird even like today. I'm at MBTA Nationals and it's like I'm sitting there and I'm like, I feel like I should have my modeling gown on and like my hair done. And obviously I don't. And I'm just sitting there like, this is really odd.
You're like, what am I supposed to do right now?
Yeah, exactly. But it's a very rewarding experience, though, knowing that I had the opportunity to do that and watching a lot of the younger kids come and be able to compete and to really showcase who they are. It's seeing that those younger ones start to really rise to the occasion and things like that. It's rewarding to know that that's maybe what I looked like back in the day and where I am now, and watching them come to this and start to grow up and move on to the next phase of their life. It makes me feel old, but I'm really not that old relative, but it's a great experience. Just a little sad right now.
Aww. Well, that is so good to hear, though, because now I'm putting the two things together. As Kim, you already know, like I come from a world of color guard and drum corps. So hearing the twirling side of it, I'm like, okay, because I know that they can go hand in hand, but we're just not too sure. I do have tons of questions to ask and more to get into, but right now we're going to go to a commercial.
Hey, this is Christine Ream.
And Chris Green.
Guard Closet was founded as a consignment business in 2000. Since then, it has grown to include winter guard, band, percussion, and other genres.
We can help you with custom flag and costuming designs.
Our consignment inventory has plenty of great looks for your color guard, drumline, and marching band.
Pay it forward. When you purchase consignment, you help other programs. Last year, we sold over 400 sets of consignments and returned over $125,000 in payments to our consigners for their sales.
Additionally, Guard Closet offers custom and pre-designed costumes, flags, floors, and formal wear, full or partial show writing, educational programming, and other services.
Max out your rehearsal time and set up a microsite for easy student ordering for shoes, gloves, and other equipment.
The Guard Closet team is here to help you get everything you want and need for your season. Check us out at guardcloset.com and follow us on social media.
Okay, so we're back and we're still on the sidelines with our amazing twirling team. And we wanted to dive deeper into championships. So Ashlee, why don't you give us all like a brief tutorial, tell us what's going on. And you said there's actually 2 organizations, right?
Yeah, so USTA happened last week and NBTA is happening the week that we are recording this. So it started Monday the 15th and it goes to Friday the 19th. So that will have been over by the time that this is released and aired. So congratulations to everyone who has won their titles and competed and all of that good stuff. Hope everyone had a fantastic time. There was the IBTF qualifier and all of that on Monday, which is the qualifier for the World Championships that happens in Torino, Italy in 2025. So that was really exciting for some of the teams that qualified on Monday. And NBTA just appointed an acting president, I think last week or the week before. And they're putting together like a new board of directors. So there's like a lot of change happening in the works. So I think everyone is kind of seeing how things go and hoping for some positive change maybe. I'm intrigued to see how things are gonna play out and maybe have some more. I'm like trying to word. I'm trying to use my words right now.
Well, I mean, I've got some questions for you. So highlights, because like usually, again, I don't have anything to put this with except for WGI and drum corps. So what are some like standouts that you've seen that you're like, wow, they did some pretty awesome stuff? And that is a remembering performance, like awesome.
Like from this past week or so?
Yeah, from all the nationals that have been going on so far.
Okay. Yeah. So this past weekend, I judged Twirling Unlimited internationals. So I think I judged, I don't know. I judged so many things. I can't even keep track of what it was. But I watched I think it was Miss TU Solo 18 plus or something like that. But I watched Amelia Adams Solo. I think she's from Pennsylvania. Is that right? Okay, yes. She goes to, oh God, I know the letters, GVSU.
Grand Valley State.
Something. Grand Valley. I'm like, for some reason I was thinking governor. I was like, that's definitely not it. But she's the featured twirler there, and I don't really know what I was expecting when I watched her solo, but I was freaking blown away. She did some kind of like neck throw where she put the baton behind her neck and it went up and around, and she did a double illusion under it. And I was like, what? Like normally that's, I don't know, maybe you do like a one spin or something. And no, she freaking did a double illusion. I was not expecting it at all.
Wow.
But like the amount of difficulty that she had in her routine was just insane, and I was blown away the entire time. And she had a beautiful smile on her face the entire time as well.
I believe that sometimes we'll probably see something like that maybe at WGI next year. Maybe. I don't know. Right? We should not.
I don't know, because I mean, I feel like WGI is sorely missing Amachi. I mean, when Amachi was around, anytime that we've taken groups to WGI and get the kids back on the bus, who's your favorite? Amachi. And it's so interesting because, they're, outside the norm of what we usually see. We don't usually see batons in Winter Guard and, stuff like that. But, it just brings such another dimension, and it's just so exciting. And, are you guys familiar with them at all? I mean, I know they're from Japan, but I mean, as famous as they are to us in the color guard world, is that whole what's going on over there you know, are you guys aware? Like, are you guys, you know, is that as popular in your neck of the woods as it is in ours, or are you familiar with them?
I know about Amachi. Marissa, do you?
No, I don't, but I do know
Okay.
that the Japanese in twirling are some of the best twirlers. So I can tell
So
you that
it's
it's probably correlated.
they
Sure.
exactly that not even
I'm sure.
correlated. They are like literally Team Japan put them into color guard, and like it's people that do color guard from Japan, but it's also like Team Japan in baton twirling, and you put them with those people that do color guard, and that's it.
Yes. Yes. No,
I heard that once upon a time they had like the first and second best in the world
Yes.
with them. That's crazy.
Yes.
yes, they're very
I'm
good.
gonna
They're
butcher
very,
his
very
name.
talented.
Kazuke Kamada. Is that how you say his first name?
Yeah.
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 He was there in. Well, I went to WGI and saw them in 2017. And I was like, oh, wait, I know that guy. I've seen him on YouTube.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. I mean, he's one of the only people to get a perfect score multiple times at the World Championships. So he is what you would call expert. Yeah, and he still teaches and coaches and everything like that. He really is. He is one of the best. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking on like international things, Marissa, tell us a little bit more about like the international twirling circuit. Is that what you call them?
Yeah, it's it's ever changing and evolving. IBTF is not something that's extremely new. They started putting on Grand Prix back in 2015. That was in Canada. So IBTF is something that's now taking over with the World Championships, Nations Cup, the Freestyle Championships. It's a great thing for athletes. I had such a great experience in England last year competing in the World Championships, and it really opens the door to other countries and seeing how they train and what their athletes are doing. And obviously great competition always, right? It's always good having new people come in and you competing against, but opens your doors to new things artistically and new things like, oh, I've never seen that before. I'm going to go home and do that with my kids. Or, whether that's it could be what you're watching is a very elite level team, but what they're actually doing is things that you could give back to the beginner or intermediate kids. It's really, a lot of the time, some of those teams have content restrictions, things like that. It's very different than anything that you've really ever seen. But I really love that aspect of it. But, I think that Team USA and Team Japan are usually the ones that are up there, and then you'll get a sprinkle of France and Norway and all of those teams. It just depends, honestly, on who's in the know and who's in the crowd and who's really good. I know that this year, Duda dominated my division, and obviously she's from the U.S. She wasn't someone people are going to beat in solo. She just really is a talented person. And obviously she's one of my teammates, so I could talk about her. And Ashlee knows her very well too and grew up with her. So,
I was like, she did, what is it? On a water break in Rhinestones?
That's Allie's sister, Lexi.
Oh my God.
They're sisters.
Yes. And Lexi dominated for a very long time. Savannah Miller dominated. But then you come in and the Japanese really bring the perspective of what we're doing is where we need to elevate to. And I think the USA did dominate in a couple events. A lot of the newer group events that IBTF was experiencing. So majorette groups, twirling corps, things like that. Not necessarily maybe like a dance twirl, because Japan has always done that. And obviously they're very good and they're very artistic with it and they're very talented people. But really more like a twirl team where it's it's honestly a lot like a band where you're marching on step and you're constantly moving and there's really no stopping, and for all 3 minutes you're going left, right. And it's to Gloria, and it's a very different thing. And although it's essentially the same thing and you're twirling, and if you guys were watching it, you'd be like, I see no difference here. This looks the same to me. It just looks like you're playing the same track over again and you're twirling to it. It's very two different things. And that's something like Japan and other countries, honestly, if you weren't in an MBTA environment, it really brings that element of MBTA into it. And so those are the things that like they've never seen before. So it was really cool. Actually, I was on the twirl team that won the world championships, obviously with Wheaton. And it was really cool to see people react to that. They've never really seen anything like that. And to be able to have a gold medal in it is also something very special. But to be a catalyst for that and see other countries maybe coming out here in the next world championships next year, it'll be very fun to watch, and it'll be something to see really. And it's very interesting. But with the IBTF coming together with the USTA and MBTA athletes in the United States, it can only create and foster an environment for growth. So I think that it's a great thing. And I hope that people who are listening to this that are twirlers, hopefully if they're young, they get to experience that one day.
So I'm going to just ask another question. So what is like the scariest thing that has happened during a competition?
I don't know. I don't know. There's like a lot of, like when people get hurt, anytime, that's usually scary. I don't know if anyone's majorly got hurt like this year, but like those, like, or when people like fall over or like they're doing the routines, I would say that's probably the most scary thing. Like, especially when you're watching, it could be any athlete, doesn't need to be someone that we know or someone, it could just be like they simply literally fall. Like, oh my God, they fell. And then they get back up and they keep going. And you're like, wow, if I were doing that, I'd be crying. Like if that was me, I'd be falling on the floor. But like those kinds of things, I think like that's scary. And I'm sure Ashlee can say that from a judging perspective. You never want a kid to like go out there and fall. But it's something that like, I think that's scary. Any of that. And like, I know that I've experienced watching people like before a Grand National Solo here at MBTA Nationals, like bust their knee and like can't compete.
That's what I was going to say.
Like, like that is horrifying to me that you absolutely like, you come here and it's like, you bust your knee on the first day and you're like, oh my God, like your first day. Yeah. Like, it's like, and you feel so bad for them. And a lot of them are actually, usually a lot of them that I've seen and Ashlee's seen, they're older twirlers. So they're probably in college, and they also twirl on the field in the fall. And if you have to have knee surgery, you can't twirl in a month. So it's really, I think those are some of the scariest moments. I feel for those people. I can't imagine.
I always, because I always put that towards, and I judge for Winter Guard season. So there's been a couple of shows like I've seen like a performer get impaled, and they just like roll off, or they just go behind a backdrop, and it's just like, oh wow. And then you see lots of parents just go back to that corner of the floor and gather them up, and the rest of the team just goes on. It's just really like, it's sad because you see them getting out on the floor and they're so focused and they're so ready to go, and then boom. I just think that is scary. Ashlee, where did you have any standout performances that happened this year?
I think some of my favorites, can I say that? Favorites as a judge? I'm going to retract favorites.
Please stand out.
Standout. Yeah, that's a good word. I really liked my old team, Wheaton. They had their dance twirl to Eleanor Rigby. I loved watching that every single time, every single local competition. I mean, it changed like every single time that I saw it. And I'm like, oh man, they took the floor section out. I really like that part. But just watching it evolve like over the course of the past few months has just been like a beautiful journey to watch it change and watch the performers like actually start feeling the music and feeling like what they're doing, because when you first learn whatever the routine is, whatever the move is, you're like, okay, I have to do this now and I look like a robot. And then like throughout the months they're like, oh, I actually can breathe while I do this, and I can feel like they can show the feeling through their body, and they're like not just their facial expressions, but like through all of their movements. So it's just really nice to actually see the development of the feeling and all of that. As a team as a whole, it's really hard to get the whole team to buy into that like same character development.
For sure.
Yeah. And then, totally applies to the color guard world. Yeah. And then as far as individuals, I feel like what I remember the most are like freestyles and rhythmics. I really loved Sterling Buzz's rhythmic to Fallen by Alicia Keys. It's so good. She's like so sassy and just like, I think she's, I don't know, 15 or something. But yeah, you'll have to look it up, and maybe there's a video somewhere, but maybe her mom will share it. I don't know.
Definitely.
We'll see. But she just has so much emotion put into it, and like the baton hits on like all of the right notes and all of the musical cues, which sidetrack. I feel like baton choreographers don't hit like the musical cues as often as they should.
Oh, like musicality and writing.
Yeah.
I'd have to watch more to find out. I only watched that one. Was it a perfect score, the 99 that you showed me?
The 10, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I sent Savannah Miller's perfect solo to them like last week. Yeah.
Ridiculous, but very good.
Yes.
What about you, Marissa?
I think there were probably two that I could talk about that were I have a team routine and actually a collegiate routine. And the first one I'll talk about is Arian Hay. She was from the University of Cincinnati, and her collegiate routine was so amazing. I don't even know how to like talk about it without being like gushing over her, but she just a phenomenal twirler. And I believe her, I'm not sure if they posted the video on Facebook, but I'm going to tell her mom she should, because it was that good. And it was just so entertaining, and to see her be able to represent UC's band, which I have like an elaborate name that I can't remember the name of, but I can see the letters in my head. But to see her represent them and like to really get into it was just so much fun watching her. And then I would say for team routines, I can't agree more with Ashlee in the way that team routines really do evolve over time. And I've heard really great things about Revolutions from California. They're a USTA, mainly USTA team. And they did this like timepiece that Mark Nash choreographed, and Mark Nash is a huge twirling person in the sport. He was a world champion, multi-time national champion. Like, he's amazing. His choreography is phenomenal. Like, he's just, he's all over YouTube. You can find him on YouTube too. And I know he had a hand in choreographing some of the Revolution stuff because his daughters are on the team, and they just were phenomenal. Like, it was just like you just said, musicality and how you can hit the beat, and they would do things where they would go down and up, and it would go right to the music, and they would look like right, even the eye, they would look right through their eyebrows, like right in the judge's eyes, and it just hit. Like, it would be like, whoa, I love that. Or it was just so amazing. I don't even know. I can gush about it, but they were so good, and the team working together, like the intricacy of the team, it was just, it was phenomenal. I give them praise. They were amazing. I think those are my two standout performances.
How about you, Kim? Can you think of any standout performances that you want to share with us?
Sure, absolutely. I think I'm going to go broad overview, right? Just because the athleticism from like the top twirlers are just phenomenal. The amount of skill that they have, just the tricks that they're being asked to do, it just is amazing, over the top, whirlwind. I would also agree with Marissa. Anything that Mark Nash puts together is just extremely lyrical. It is musical. I actually know him. We marched together with the Blue Devils way back when. Yeah, so super nice guy. And yes, everything that he has created, it just is, to watch it brings it to life. The musicality and just his creativity has been amazing. The performances are always over the top and just something wonderful to see. So appreciate it.
Well, I'm glad we got all of those from you all, your highlights. We are going to go to a commercial, and then we'll be right back.
everyone, it's Jeremy, and here are your announcements coming from the box. Don't miss all of our bonus content, including On a Water Break in Rhinestones with your host Lexi Duda, exploring the world of the Twirlers. Don't miss Parades and Drum Majors at Step Off with your host Jack Goudreau, and get lost in translation with your host Cynthia Bernard, exploring all the words that confuse all of us in the marching arts all across the world. And go behind the lens with marching arts photographers all across the country with your host Chris Marr. Plenty more bonus content from On a Water Break, so listen anywhere you get your podcasts. If you want to be on a Water Break as a guest, or you know somebody that would make a great guest for On a Water Break, email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com or find us on social media. Okay, field staff, take it away.
Let's reset.
Now it is time for what we like to call What Are We Doing? I know that we've already talked to Marissa and Kimberly about what this is. So this is going to be What Are We Doing Twirling Edition. I don't know if I can really say anything about this, but maybe I will, because maybe it won't be something that you know about already. So,
what are we doing?
What are we doing?
All right, so let's see here. Trish, I always like to go with you first because it's your voice. It's your voice.
I feel like I should be What Are We Doing myself, because I feel like there's this whole world that you guys are exposing me to tonight that I just don't know enough about. So what am I doing not getting more involved in twirling? I mean, it's just every, I've just been like so captivated by your comments tonight that I've just been really sucked in, and I've been like, how do I not know about this? I mean, all I know is Amachi, you know what I mean? And like, so what am I doing not following twirling?
Awesome. Ashlee.
Yes. My What Are We Doing? So we've been talking about having nationals has been like back to back to back to back, like within the organization. So luckily this year they're all like within the same state, sort of. Well, 2 of them are in Ohio, one's in Indiana. So they're kind of close. But so like they're back to back to back, but what are we doing having them so back to back? Like the mental load, the physical load, the financial capacity that it is putting on like the parents. And then after all of the nationals, there's the World Championships for rhythmic and freestyle that's happening in Sweden, literally 3 weeks after nationals is over. So like it's not even done after this. People can't even get a break after nationals.
No, not at all. I can tell you, speaking from experience, I mean, there's some kids that started competing last Wednesday or last Tuesday. There are kids that started competing last Tuesday and have competed for 8 days straight or 7 days straight. And when I say competed, I mean like hair back, makeup on, you're in the zone, like it's not screw around time. And then, they're going 10 days or 11 days in a row. And then they have that 2 week, a lot of them who are doing that have that 2 week break and then have to go compete at Worlds. And that's just a lot. So I can say kudos to the coaches for keeping the positive environment around those kids, because that, when you're dealing with teenagers, it can get exactly how you would think it would get when you have teenagers. So kudos to the coaches and the parents and the kids who are doing it. Like watching them makes me tired, so I can't even imagine living that life.
I really hope that at some point maybe they're not all like jam-packed together. Is it a record? I just want to ask this one question. Is it a requirement that they all go to those different competitions?
No.
Okay. Well,
I mean, so like this year's a world qualifying year, so if you want to qualify for worlds, then you kind of have to go.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And the worlds, how you qualify for worlds is kind of changing. So, like, it used to happen every 3 years, but the past, I don't know, I think since 2018, so correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's started to change to not be every 3 years. So it's been a little unpredictable since then.
Got it. My what are we doing is why haven't I gone to a show with you, Ashlee? That's what I want. Like, what are we doing with me not doing that? Or what are we doing not rhinestoning something for Nicole? You know what I mean?
Oh, we totally can do that.
I'll give you my On a Water Break t-shirt.
Yes.
I love that. One of my band moms, actually, when I was in Texas, her daughter is a twirler and it still competes. And she took my jacket and she was like, "Ooh, I can bling this out for you." Brought it back the next day and it was heavier.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Thank you."
Have you seen that post where it's like the gymnastic leotards are like that? They have so much rhinestones on them that they weigh a pound.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, that is literally nothing in comparison to twirler costumes. Nothing.
Oh.
If they only knew.
If they only knew. All right, Marissa, it's your turn. Tell us.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things, and I feel like if I start talking, I feel like I could talk forever. Oh no, I'm just kidding. No, but I swear to God, I'm kidding. But I would say big things that maybe you guys wouldn't know, but Ashlee would understand, and even Kim would understand, and I think you guys might be able to understand this from the perspective of a color guard perspective. There's a lot of heavy focus on big tricks right now. And we're missing everything else that's important. And obviously, I'm not sure how WGIDCI, I'm not sure if that's judged by a score sheet. Twirling is judged by a score sheet in most organizations. You have a score sheet sitting in front of you. And so you have to, for a coaching perspective, you have to fill the score sheet. You have to coach to the score sheet. You have to choreograph to exactly what's on the score sheet, check every box, make sure you're doing everything correctly. And there's a lot of emphasis on big tricks and trying to just do these like wild tricks you see on the internet. And a lot of people post and are like, "Oh my God, I just caught, whatever, a triple or a quad or whatever." But there's a lack of emphasis on the smaller things like your rolls, your low contact, like your low flips, things that are below your head. And that's a really important part of building a solo, especially at a beginner intermediate level. And again, like I said, you guys, it's just like in color guard when you're doing the low flips with the rifles or the stuff with the flag, and it's not necessarily you're tossing it, but the actual maneuvering the flag and doing things that you're not just throwing it in the air and doing a million things under it. It's actually maneuvering it and doing harder things with it than just a basic spin, I guess is really what you would call it. So I think there's a lack of emphasis on those smaller things and really important things when building your solo. So now you're seeing a lot of kids come out in the advanced division who are doing these awesome big tricks, but don't have the rest of the score sheet filled out because they're only doing those big tricks. So I would say that is something that really gets me going. And I could talk about it all day. That's like,
it's really,
yeah.
It's funny that you say that because that could not be any closer to relevancy in the color guard community as well. Like, so, I feel your pain there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, all right. So enough with the complaining. Okay. We're going to go over and just flip it up a bit and we're going to do our gush and goes.
Great job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Gush and go.
You can gush and go about anything that's going on great in your life that you want to just let people know about. It doesn't have to be twirling related or color guard related. It can just be, hey, this is something that's great that's going on right now. All right. So, you know what? I'll start. I just got back from being on tour with the Academy. And had a great time. I did not think that I would actually want to stay longer, but when I got home, I was like, oh, I miss these kids so much. It was very, very hot. I definitely, I'm not kidding you when I say I got sunburned. I actually got sunburned. My shoulders are still peeling, but I loved my time. I really loved my time there. So, let's see. Trish.
I'll stay in the drum corps genre. I stayed up last night and watched DCI Broken Arrow, and it was incredible. It was so great. I look at everything from a color guard and visual perspective. I wish I could, do the more of like the music analysis, but it's not really my thing. Color guard at championships could really be anybody's game this year. I mean, they're all good. I mean, and where I thought, some of them were going to fall, it was a little bit different, from what I thought, but they were all amazing. They were just all amazing. But one shout out I'd like to give is a color guard corps that's not really been my favorite the last couple of years, which is the Mandarins. I know all my music friends rave about them. Their style's never really been my thing, but I will tell you this. I'm starting to come around on them because I got to tell you, they hit every single note, every one. And
Nice.
My gosh, I'm going to give it up to the Mandarins tonight. Although my favorite guards, of course, are Crown, Blue Coats, Boston, Blue Devils, all of that. I think any one of those four could take it this year. But just that has really grabbed my attention lately. I've been like, they hit every single note, every one. And it's just really great to see. It's what we should all aspire to.
All right, Marissa.
I think there's lots of things I could talk about, but I think the most exciting one is probably being on this podcast because I don't know, as I said, I twirled at Michigan State University. Yeah, exactly. That's right. I twirled at Michigan State University, but I was also part of the Spartan Marching Band the last 4 years. And a lot of my friends are in DCI and the WGI. I have a really good friend, the featured twirler's significant others. He's a trumpet in the Carolina Crown Band. I have a friend in the Boston who's in the color guard. He's phenomenal. And it's so fun listening to you guys talk about these things because I hear about it. And just like you don't understand twirling, I don't understand what you're talking about. I do to an extent, a very small sliver of your world. And it's so exciting hearing about what you guys talk about and the fact that I'm like, I know these things and I'm listening to you and I feel like, oh my God, I feel like I understand what you're talking about. And it's very much the same. So it definitely, it's a really interesting thing. And actually, fun fact, the one Michigan State future twirler, Riley, actually did Michigan State's color guard state of the art and went to Dayton and did all of that this year. So it's very exciting. There's crossover. So yes, but I would say that's my gush and go. And I love watching band. Marching band has been a part of my life for the last 22 years. My mom was a major ed advisor. So I've been at marching band practice for a very long time. And I love marching band. And I don't know how much you guys know about the Spartan Marching Band, but I could talk about them for days. It's an all brass band and they're phenomenal instrumentalists and color guard. And I can tell you that the color guard at MSU, I have no idea what they're doing. But man, do they look beautiful. I'm always watching them. I'm like, y'all are so good. Like, I could not do what you're doing. So I give props to them. But it's so fun hearing you guys talk about it. And I get to see a lot of these DCI crossovers practicing in the winter and stuff. And I'm like, so what are you guys doing over the summer? And then they talk about every day we compete and we sleep in gyms. And I'm like, that sounds like something interesting. But then watching all their progress at the end of the season in August, I love watching those videos. And it really I'm like, oh my, y'all are so talented. So it's so fun hearing you guys. It's so fun hearing you guys talk about it. Because like I said, that's this, I only know this much and you guys know this much. And I'm sure it's the same vice versa with twirling. So it's so fun. It's so fun. I love listening to it. I'd say that's my gush and go.
Awesome. Ashlee, tell us something about your gush and go.
Yeah, so mine is going to be about judging this past weekend. So I only have been a judge for, I don't know, maybe a year and a half tops. Yeah. So I'm still just a baby. So I have just been trying to figure out my style of judging, if that's a thing you would say. So obviously it's going to be subjective, but shouldn't be, like everyone's going to have their own opinions, whatever. But I have made it my personal goal to be as positive as I can be and like uplifting, because I mean, it's different. Like for individual events, these kids actually get handed the score sheet when they get their award or when they go up to the awards table, they get their trophy, whatever. Like they read those comments. It doesn't get handed to their coach. It doesn't get handed to director or anything like that. Like they see exactly what you write. They see exactly what the score is. So it's like a really personal experience for them. And when you're twirling in front of the judge, you're like 6 to 10 feet away from them, maybe. So, it's like it can be a really vulnerable and personal experience for the twirler and the judge. So like you really have to make a personal connection with them. So I've been trying to make really positive feedback while also giving like constructive criticism. But like just the way that I'm giving my feedback has just been, I don't know, just really positive. But I've had a lot of people, yes. Really good. I've had a lot of people come up to me and like thank me for my comments, and they're like, wow, you made my kid's day. Like this was just so nice the way that you worded this. And so that's just really made me feel really grateful and humble to have the opportunity and the privilege, truly a privilege, to sit on the other side of the table and give back to the sport that gave me literally everything. My life, actually. Like, literally.
Okay, Kim, what's your gush and go?
Awesome. Hey, so Ashlee, I want to give you confirmation that yes to your judging style. Ashlee has actually judged my daughter, and my daughter's feedback same. Loved twirling for you when you were sitting on the other side of the table. So keep up the good work and kudos to you. So yeah, super excited to see people, with the positivity on the other side of the table. I could gush and go about a million things as well. I'm actually getting on a plane to go to Louisiana tomorrow for my stepdaughter's wedding. She's getting married this weekend, so super excited about that. And I guess like to keep it back and kick it back into the drum corps world, I marched in the Crossmen before I marched in the Blue Devils, and I'm actually participating in the Crossmen Alumni Drum Corps this summer.
Yay!
Yeah, so I will be bringing my body back to the field to perform in Indy. So super excited about that. Looking forward to it. We've got some camps coming up to finish learning the show. So although I say I'm super excited, I'm super old now too. So I'm hoping it doesn't kill me.
One of our other hosts, Jackie, just did the Blue Stars alumni drum corps. So I always think that's awesome. That's a quick way for me to be like, that's my friend.
Right?
So,
yes. So if you're in Indy, hey, come and cheer. Come and cheer.
Hey, it's called Gush and Go, not Gush and Stay. Let's go.
Oh, wow. This has been fun. I want to thank everyone for a great rehearsal this week. I want to say thanks to our hosts, Trish and Ashlee. And also thank you to our guest clinicians, Kim Jones and Marissa Pierce. Please tell the folks who are listening where we can find you on social media, Marissa.
You can find me on like every platform ever. No, I'm just kidding. You can find me on Instagram at mpierce11, on Facebook at Marissa Pierce, and I'm also on TikTok if you want to go watch some twirling videos. I'm Spirit Girl 1. So go watch some twirling video. Yeah, exactly. Maybe I'll get some famous TikToks going. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's where you can catch me on socials, and go give me a follow or friend request me on Facebook. Always posting about twirling. So
awesome. And Kim, where can we find you?
Same, Facebook or Instagram, Kim Jones.
Okay, that's easy.
Yep.
All right, cool. All right. So one more thing, just don't forget that we have a YouTube channel now, and that has many of our interviews. coming out as full video edition. So go and subscribe so you don't miss any of those. And before you close out this podcast and your listening app, go and subscribe. You want to leave a review and share this with your friend. Follow us on social media at On a Water Break, and we'll see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
Go practice. The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Reams. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.